what is the
Okay.
biggest challenge you think eventful or the events business will face post-COVID, and how do you plan to overcome it? So can you just share your own view of that in 5 minutes?
Thank you, YZ. Good evening, everyone. Okay. At the moment, what I see is business, new business emerging, and at the same time, I'm seeing new trends also evolving in this post-COVID era. But how are we as companies? How are we able to latch onto this opportunity and be able to like benefit from this? Will be dependent by factors, and these are the factors I'm going to be sharing with us today. So first of all, one of the factors we have to start considering now as is our clients and our customers. So it's not going to be business as usual any longer. I'm talking in terms of the way we get jobs from some of these clientele. We all know most of the, especially speaking from the point of view of the corporate space, most of these corporates are already financing a lot of the money used for the, what's it called, the project at the moment from the government. So because of that, they are going to be having limited funds. Some of them have even exhausted their fund. So at this point, I think for event planners, we need to start thinking of a different way of putting our event across to these individuals. We need to be, customer, we need to focus on customer experience now. That is very critical. And at the same time, we need to start thinking about value-added services that we are going to be creating for this category of clients at this particular point in time, a problem, and not actually just because of this social end that we are going to be gaining from it. And at the same time, on our own part, as event planners, we need to be smart about going about this. We need to understand that what we have at the moment, talking about events, it's being able to capture our clients, engaging them, making sure that we be in their face and try as much as possible to create excitement for the events we're talking about. Then we don't want to go above board in trying to achieve this, talking about financing and trying to communicate with these clients. So what do we do? Economists have always said that 80% of our income as a company comes from probably just 10% of our clients. So maybe we should channel all our efforts to servicing this 10%, then we look at ways of solving their problem, become a problem solver from them. And I think if we're able to do that, then we will probably be able to capture these new markets. Then the second point I'm going to be talking about is as regarding employee and how it's going to be a problem and how I think we're going to be overcoming it. And I'm going to be talking from the point of view of an employee also, because if you look at the panel we have here today, I am the only one that seems to actually rise from the position of probably being a staff to like more or less a business owner. Every other person on this panel are the owner of their businesses. So, and talking about the employee, I'm going to be looking at it from some scenario, key three scenarios. First of all, the mental health of the employees as we are at the moment. Don't let us don't let us ignore the fact that what we are actually trying to talk about is how are they going to be productive and after post-COVID, and how also are they going to be impactful, talking about being creative after post-COVID. So in response to that, the mental health state of our employee at this point in time is very, very critical. The situation in the country, as we all know, the issues that are happening, people have been listening to a lot of things in the news and have been creating a lot of fear, panic, and stress to the mindset of some of the employees. So I don't, and obviously that would hinder productivity. There is no way we want to be productive in that kind of a condition. So maybe what we should do as is try to divert the mindset of our staff at this point in time. Let them tune their mind away from all these so-called news and probably just focus their attention on maybe World Health Organization. Just get brief information and update on the way forward how things are happening. Then I think with that, they are going to be able to like overcome this challenge. Then also as the business owner, we can set up what's it called, support system for them and engage them and get them out of that mindset, because it is very critical that at this level we are going to, the creative mind and the creative mind is the mind that would actually excel. And for us to be creative, then we first of all need to have a mindset that is very, very comfortable. Then the next point I also want to talk about is the job security for most of our staff. I'll use Eventful as a template. For Eventful at this point in time, we have decided that we would not retrench anybody for now. It's quite, how should I put it? People are not in the right frame of mind, but how sustainable is this? That is what we need to consider. How are we able to combine all the, based on what we have going on in the economy at the moment, be able to retain our staff and still be able to sustain. So what we are going to be doing, what works for Eventful may not work for other companies. So you have to be able to look at all these options and able to tap into some of it and realize and pick out the ones that is useful for you. I'm talking in terms of, in some cases, being able to maybe tell some of the staff to go on probably half salary. Some also are people that you can say, okay, let's let some people go on compulsory leave at the moment. In some other cases, it might be issues of maybe having to work with contract staff instead of full-time staff. And also in some instances, it can be work from home. And the most important thing is for us to keep them engaged and to ensure that they are able to deliver on all the deliverables. So, and talking about the employee also, I will quickly want to
the others a chance. Are you rounding up?
Yes, I'm rounding up. Yes, I'm rounding up. So I just quickly want to talk about the employee in the state in terms of job security. At this point in time, what kind of employee are we really as a member of staff? Are you the one that is always having the mindset of entitlement, or are you the type that is having the mindset of ownership? I think we need to start developing the mindset of an ownership at this point in time, as that is what would help each and everyone to move to the next level. I think I'm short of time, so I'll just leave Mrs. Z to take it from there.
Thank you, Fisayo. So you've mentioned that the challenge, there's going to be a new experience with clients. So we have to look at different ways of dealing with our clients. Things are not going to be as usual. You've spoken about being a problem solver, a solution provider, and you've spoken extensively from your own experience as an employee that the employees have to understand that well, we understand that over the next 6 months, there will be a lot of emotional issues, not only for employees and for employers as well, but that people should come with a mindset of entrepreneurship and a mindset of trying to just overcome these challenges, but that employers may have to take some decisions depending on the state of their finances, that it can range from, yes, keeping people on for as long as possible. It may be that you'll have to let people go, and it may be that it's like a salary cut. So those are all the ways that you have said that you would be looking at overcoming the challenges you would face. So let me go straight on to Tubosun, whose screen is right next to you. Tubosun, in the screens and sound business, how are you going to be overcoming the challenges? What are the biggest ones you face? Because what we face as event planners may be quite different to what you face in your business. So if you could just tell us that.
Yes, thank you very much, Mrs. Zakios and Eventful for setting this up. It's very good for us to, rub minds and then let the audience know that hope is not completely lost.
Yes.
The biggest challenge, and then to all my panelists too, you're welcome. The biggest challenge that we face, because our business deals mainly with hardware, in terms of stage, screen, sound, lights, and all of that. In fact, we were one of the first people to be hit when the Lagos State government mentioned that, there's going to be some form of crowd control where there's going to be no more than 50 people allowed to be in a venue at the same time. Before the president, mentioned that we had to go on compulsory lockdown. So, usually what we do, we take our screens, take our sounds to the venue, set it up, because our business is tailored towards, crowd control. What we feed on is crowd, so that, at a particular event, when there's a focal point or when there's anything exciting going on, you can hear as well as see. So you don't have to get up from where you are to go and see what's going on at the focal point. So, you know, we're not really an online business. So our biggest challenge right there is that we cannot go and set up at venues anymore. I would say that that is, you know, almost one and only of the biggest challenges we have. In terms of overcoming it, we've been rubbing minds internally, and because of the business we do and the kind of scale that we operate on, we have well over 100 staff. Not all are permanent staff. There's a combination of contracts and full-time. And if money is not coming in, obviously we'll have to look in-house and decide that if we don't want this business to die, we have to make some sacrifices. My immediate reaction is not trying to decide to lay people off. It might get to that point, but what we want to do is try and call people in on a need basis. If eventually a job comes up before we go back to normal, to business as usual, you know, we'll have to pick on some staff to come and do the jobs. Then we can rotate it so that it's not just one person. You know, that is all in the interim, so that everybody, you know, gets a share and is able to earn a living. We're turning 14 years, and a lot of staff that we have in-house have been there, you know, about 50% of them have been there for the 14 years. So it's really sad to think that you're going to let people go just because of this challenge. So we're going to work like on a contract basis to make sure that everybody has a feel of it. Also, we have an array of services that we do. So we're going to try and overcome it by looking at the softer ones rather than the hardware, in terms of some of the content that we've been able to acquire over these 4 years, and see whether we can play around, you know, commercializing this content one way or the other, without, of course, breaching any legal issues. And then we have equipment that are as old as 10 years, 7 years, and all of that. So we want to also look at them. How relevant are they? How much turnover is it giving us? Maybe we can end up just deciding to trade them in and then use the much needed funds to divert into something else that will give us money. There's something else, you hear it when we want to talk about the opportunities.
Yeah.
So that's basically it. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Chiboso. And you're right, because you see, it's not all businesses that we will be able to transcend into the virtual space. Mm-hmm. So everybody just really needs to get their thinking capped on to see, how do we change? I mean, people are going to have to look at their business models again and adapt their business models to suit what we know will be life post-COVID. I mean, as you say, which is exactly the same thing for Eventful, most of us that have had businesses for 15, 18 years, we've had staff who've been with us for that long. That's why it's very difficult to just say, there's wahala in the market, so yeah, come and go home. We can't do that. And it's at a significant cost to us. But of course, we will have to, as you say, call everybody, have a discussion, whether it's 50% pay cut, whether it is stay at home until we can call you back, but you will still be our staff. So everybody will have to take the decision that is going to work for them. But I like the idea that you said, looking at yours, you know, looking at a way of commercializing content, because you've been videoing for years, all kinds of events, and there's so much you have. So people just need to think. We have to begin to think. It's not business as usual. So thank you, Chiboso. That was a fantastic contribution. So I'm